Freedom's greetings, Helldivers. Erevan here to bring you yet another 5 tips and tricks that you didn't know in Helldivers 2. After 5 other videos in this series, you'd think I would have been out of ideas for these, but no, not quite yet. As it turns out, I've got one more in store for you guys before we hang this series up. So, as always, I promise you by the end of this video, you will have indeed not heard of at least one of these anywhere else before and will learn something from this video. Sound good? Great, thought so. Let's get started. First, did you know that Super Outposts in difficulty 10 only have 4 potential layouts on the bot front, and all of them are actually designed with an either entirely unguarded entrance or a poorly defended one? On screen now, thanks to scouting reports that I received from the Blitz Drivers community, spearheaded by Zav, my head democracy officer, we have some maps provided for us of each potential layout. Keep in mind, you are still going to need to do some big brain work to identify these bases at a glance, despite having these maps as a reference, due to the fact that these outposts can actually spawn with any orientation. 2 of these, nicknamed Easy Climb and Hard Climb, have clear entrances around the back with cliff faces that can be scaled by Helldivers to get inside, one with slightly more difficulty than the other, as seen here. In both cases, you can get to the high ground completely undetected and alpha strike the base with your stratagems or support weapon from your new vantage point before the bots even know that you're there. The third layout, nicknamed Mordor due to it having a detector tower in the middle, is a little bit less simple. Not simply walk into Mordor.
I'm
Ah!
gonna see if I.
Drive, man.
Oh god, PTSD.
So, like I said, but by using these identifying map features cross-referenced with our maps on screen here, there is an entrance here that is not in the line of sight of any of the turrets that line these facilities, giving you a clear channel directly to the base of the Eye of Sauron to begin your assault. The fourth layout, nicknamed Bunker Hell, gets its name due to having the most AC4 turrets of any variant. This base has an angle where not one, not 2, but 3 of these insta-giving silent killers can clip you should you come around the corner. There is, however, still a relatively unguarded entrance around here that you can utilize to get a good position to take the space out. Regardless, simply dispatch the 2 guards on watch quietly and proceed inside before unleashing hell. Between this tip and the maps, I'm sure you and your team can come up with some much more interesting strategies than dumping orbitals over the wall and hoping for the best. While that strategy does tend to work decently well, the cleanup is very rarely not messy. While I'm on the topic, let's talk about those extremely lethal Class 4 armored bunker turrets that sit on the super outposts. Did you know that, just like the turrets that sit on the bunkers during bunker missions, these turrets also sport a maximum range of just 160 meters and cannot engage any Helldivers beyond this distance? This means if you sit this safe distance away from the super, you can actually find the damn things camouflaged into the side of the cliff, then you can actually take them out with anything class 4 armor penetrating or higher from a position of complete safety. Assuming this isn't an option, however, it is worth mentioning that they fire in 3-round bursts and have a small 0.5-second period that these volleys will allow you to peek and fire back between. Assuming you are within range, take cover about 1 meter away from the wall so you're not ragdolled through it by the turret. Bait the 3-round burst, then retaliate in between. Rinse and repeat until the tower's down. If you are in the open against them, continuing to move at a 90-degree angle in light armor does allow you to move fast enough to outpace their shots. Now, if you are a chunky diver, however, I recommend popping one of your pre-distributed Fenty Pops before attempting this maneuver for an extra boost. Remember, stims have no addictive properties whatsoever. Lastly, and probably most importantly, these turrets can actually not fire directly behind themselves, unlike the cannon turrets. They are completely unable to fire at anything 180 degrees behind their set position, which is typically facing the outside of the area. The one exception to this would be the 2 turrets sitting at the top of Bunker Hill, and the 1 turret watching the hilltop as you come up the hard climb, which are designed facing inward to destroy anyone unlucky enough to have not heard about them upon walking up. Hopefully this one will help you guys get some payback against this very annoying one-shot machine. Third, did you know that you can be a stealth ninja with throwing knives in Helldivers 2? Normally, when utilizing throwing knives, as the host, you might have noticed that enemies immediately react just by drawing the weapon as if a grenade has been tossed. This would, under normal circumstances, completely invalidate them as a stealth utility tool for easy one shot takedowns on Devastators or Light Bots. While you probably thought I had unveiled all there was to stealth gameplay in Helldivers 2, and I did as well, Rodent Chubb's posting to the Reddit has brought my attention to the fact that I did not actually know it all just yet. We've now seen it is indeed possible to sneak around throwing knives at the enemies with absolutely no feedback at all. Even when the knives connect with a target like a Hulk or Factory Strider, there will be absolutely no reaction. As long as you are, of course, not the host. This is an almost as bizarre bug as the shield ninja arc we went through when ballistic shields were preventing the enemy from attaining line of sight to your character. The question is now whether this phenomenon is how the knives were originally intended to be upon release, and we are simply dealing with yet another host sided bug here, or if the bug is actually that the knives are completely silent with no response. Honestly, I'd like something close to this implemented on purpose due to this actually being an extremely fun and not at all overpowered playstyle. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below if you are for or against stealth throwing knives as a feature. Fourth, did you know that Thermite does not stack with itself? We've all taken Thermite for a spin and realized very quickly that throwing them all at the same target to light up the charger like the 4th of July just doesn't get the results that you would expect. So, what gives? Why exactly are these things so worthless? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. In addition to the standard burning damage over time effect inflicted by any fire weapon dealing 56 damage or 28 durable damage per second to enemies flagged to receive fire damage, the Thermite also deals a damage over time effect of its own, simply called Thermite, that deals 150 damage per second or 150 durable damage per second to only the main health pool of the target, regardless of the part the Thermite lands on. This damage does not stack with itself either, which means a few things. One, Thermite cannot be spammed for more damage beyond the 100 damage that it deals to a part that it's stuck on when it expires, which is also explosive damage, so that part might be immune depending on what it is. And two, Thermite's main damage over time effect cannot be utilized against enemy weak points except in very specific cases like the Hulk's back weak point, which does take the damage upon itself. A good example is the Charger's leg, which has nowhere near enough health to soak the Thermite, but because the damage is not dealt to the limb itself, the big fella survives with ease with little more than a small dent in the armor for you to potentially exploit. All these behind the scenes, gamified design decisions are likely what has led to this grenade feeling like irredeemable dog shit and not nearly as cool as a thermite grenade should in reality be, unfortunately. I swear, if Helldivers 2 was a game of Call of Cthulhu, I'd have lost control of my character long ago due to my sanity dropping from staring too deep into the mythos. One last thing before we move on, as a bonus that I'm sure will get every single one of you: Helldivers heads are thermite proof, as demonstrated by my volunteer for dragons here. Your planet thanks you for your sacrifice, and you will be remembered. One of my community members, Intrusive Thought, brought this next hidden gem to my attention. Did you know about the forbidden Hulk H-Spot tech? No, you probably didn't, because this is the most cursed name for something since Thick Filet coined the Charger G-Spot a few months ago. By charging your railgun up for 2.5 seconds or more and reaching its maximum penetration level of 7, you can over-penetrate the back weak point of the Hulk, causing the shot to land in the frontal visor of the target for an instant kill while standing behind the Hulk. This is most interesting on the Hulk Village heavy outpost, where these guys surround the outpost with their backs to you, ready to be penetrated. Okay, I'll stop now. But yeah, this raises the utility of the railgun against the already favorable target to a further level and is also just a fantastically fun way to utilize the penetration mechanics of the game. That will just about do it for my tips today. While Helldivers 2 might not be in its most popular state, I didn't want that to stop me from sharing these spicy new tips with you all. The future of the game may be uncertain with the next patch, as it will be a make or break for many players the world over. But I want you all to know that no matter where the game goes, I've valued my time playing this game alongside you guys and will continue to cover it as new content releases for what is hopefully years to come. Thank you all for watching till the end, and I hope it taught you something new. If I didn't, then feel free to call me a liar in the comments below as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Alright. I think he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
I'm down here tickling this charger's ass. His tail's wagging. I think he likes it.